Deep breath. Hi, Caroline Kearney here at Powell Arts, and I'm with the magnificent Michelle Soslau in front of her piece, which will be in our It Is Written show, which runs from September 7th through October 29th with a special preview on the 19th and 20th of August during the Collingswood Arts and Craft Festival. Michelle, after that mouthful, will you please introduce us to your piece?
Hi, this is a ink drawing, ink and watercolor. I had two models at Timothy Hawksworth building in Norristown years ago. And I was there for 3 or 4 days, and we worked with these two models, so it was a lot of rapid.
Yeah, and this is from a series.
This is, a big series that, yes, I think you'll see the rest.
We'll probably pop them up right at the bottom here, the couple that we have.
Yeah, so it's hard to explain how it happens. Like, you're working with the model, you're not really thinking what you're gonna write, but after you've done the drawing, it's suggestive, it's extremely suggestive. So it was like this ribbon here, that she's holding the ribbon, she's sort of, what's the word?
Being provocative.
Very, well, provocative, but not sexually. She's being like, okay, you didn't like the meatloaf? And this is what I'm going to do. I mean, it wasn't, it's more that. It's more their back and forth.
Yeah, their interdynamics and like relational play.
And he's holding his head like, oh God,
Not again.
Again.
That's right, not with a meatloaf again. Which I think is what's interesting about this and why it fit the theme of It Is Written so well is because not only does it have language in it that you've associated with the pose. Was this given to you or you came up with the
You mean
title?
the two of them together?
No, the title.
Oh no, I came up with the title.
That's what I thought. And you're
definitely.
And you're also funny like that. Like you're
I'm not usually funny, but I am.
You say that, but you are not. You are funny. You always make me laugh. Anyone who says you're not funny is I have this on record is a liar. But it's so perfect for this because it's a narrative about their relationship and also it's a snapshot of a moment and also it incorporates words and I really love that. So I was very curious about the cue. So you were sketching for hours and hours and hours.
Days, actually. Days.
And from that, you created these stories.
Right.
And what I love about it is so when Carol was reviewing these, we were both like curating. We both were laughing at all 5 of the pieces that you submitted because they all told a story about a relationship.
Right.
And my mom, who's been married 45 years, goes, this is such a relationship, a story of a relationship.
Right.
And I love that you saw 2 people together.
Right.
Like, because there's a lot of ways that artists can draw figures. But you chose to draw your figures in relation to each other.
Right.
Do you,
you know what?
Is that a preference of yours?
That's not conscious on my part. I think, no, I'm not consciously, but I did see them like that. I did see them as cooperating in some level, although they probably really weren't.
Yeah.
It was a big room, so they had to be models for everybody in the room, which was 360.
Yeah, well, and I think that also it says something about you as an artist that you looked at these 2 figures and what you picked up was you inferred a context in a relationship, which says that you view things in relation to each other and you're trying to tell a story. Which I think is interesting because that means your art is trying to convey a story. I feel like this is true of a lot of your...
That's true of all of my work.
Yeah, you're trying to convey a story. It also, even though I'll never forget the first artist talk we did when my mom asked you a question about metaphysics and we were like, what? You and I were both like, what is happening?
But when she explained it, it made sense.
Yes, and you are very much like one of the things I love about all of your work, and specifically about these really show the humor, but you really are telling a story, and sometimes it's metaphysical, and sometimes it's about relationships, and sometimes it's about a feeling that you had in that moment.
Right.
Do you feel like that's what grounds you? Like, that's what gives you the catharsis in doing art, is this idea that you're connecting in some way with a moment, a relationship, an idea.
You know, the catharsis is very subtle for me. It's not an intentional thing, although in the process of working, I do feel like I'm telling a story that's my story, or that I am making a commentary on. But do I feel better after? Is it cathartic? I'm not so sure it's cathartic.
So
Yeah.
I also want to talk a little bit about the technique, because this is very it's essentially a line drawing with just very singular lines and gestures.
Right.
How did you think about that? Was the focus of the workshop actually that, or you?
No, everybody was, to answer your question, everybody was doing something different. And I really felt like I did a lot of them to warm up, to try not to think so much about, what I was doing.
Yeah.
And try to just get.
Yeah, you're trying to loosen up.
Try to get what's going on.
Yeah.
But no, everybody was doing something different. Some people were painting in oil and.
So did you go straight away to the ink, or did you sketch and then remove? Like, so was this originally minimalist?
I sketched and did the ink together.
Okay, so you started out minimalist.
What do you mean by minimalist?
Minimal, like you have you are giving gesture and motion all from the line, and then adding the color in.
That's right.
As opposed to like where you're drawing the structure, the foundation underneath, and then taking it away.
The first time.
Yeah. Which, is that typical for you when you draw?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because I know you went to the academy.
Yeah.
And I think that they are sometimes a lot about, like, these are the proportions, and go and make the shadow, and they're, I don't know how to say that.
Well, it's very academic, but see.
That's the word.
It's academic, but I didn't go there for undergraduate. I went for a master's degree.
Which is more about developing style.
Yes, because I had a lot of experience before that, so. I think you need those basic things.
I think you do too, but you don't need them once you get to this level.
And I don't think, I think people who are even working abstractly, they still need that grounding, because at some point you're going to get to do something and realize they can't quite get it.
Yeah.
So the grounding, I think, is excellent.
The grounding is important, and also like one of the things that I find so strong in your work, as well as like besides the thematic work, is the composition. That you, like how you look at the composition, like the way that they're center but slowly, like slightly down, and they're grounded by the bottom.
Right.
Did you intentionally place them? I mean, you had to have. You're going to tell me it was unintentional. I knew you were. But I find it interesting because you've used this as the ground so that they feel like they're sitting there, and yet you've floated it beautifully, which gives us room to enter. So this feels timeless, but it also, your compositions are strong and well grounded, is I guess what I should say.
I tore the paper. They're all the same size, pretty much.
Okay.
Until I ran out of paper, then I had to get some other kinds of paper. So I think when you're working with the same size a lot, you're going to have an automatic way of creating your design, your compositions.
At what point did you add the watercolor?
Oh, right away.
Okay, so as
it was right there.
Were you working both ink and watercolor simultaneously?
At the same time,
Yeah. So I'm always so fascinated about like the process, and I love the way that they bleed into each other to give this shaping.
Right.
Which is nice, and of course the beautiful golden curls. So, I love this piece. I love the 3 pieces. If we could have taken all of them, we would have. We're so glad to have these, and so we'll have these beautiful narrative,
fun.
They're fun and they're funny, like pieces in the It Is Written show from now through October 29th. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you very much.